Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome back to our congregant Amy Herberter, who is leading services tonight as the cantor is on vacation. Welcome back to Mark Hitchko, who returned from vacation.
Yay, Mark.
Welcome to Josh Conklin, who
Yay,
is
Josh.
playing drums with us tonight. Welcome to you all here in the room. Welcome to you all online. Let's welcome each other. Turn to the people around you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Introduce yourselves. If you're online, you can say hi in the chat. So let's bring in Shabbat with the lighting of our candles. It's our honor to call the Wivyats to the Bima. Our candle lighting is on page 2.
Oh, hear our prayer, we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear our prayer to you.
Let us light
These lights and see the way to you,
and let
us say
Amen. Let us light
these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, l'tzivanu, le'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Before we sing Shalom Aleichem, tonight we begin Shabbat, but we also begin Rosh Chodesh Elul, the new month of Elul, the month before the high holy days. One more month to Rosh Hashanah. That starts to make rabbis and cantors very tense. But this is a month. We'll talk later about love, a month of introspection. To welcome the month, I have a poem by Marcia Falk. Cypress, it's called Witnessing. Cypresses point to the night through clouds and beyond them. We follow them up the mountain to stake our sight. We wait. The air is still. The leaf, the branch, the bark are signposts in the darkness of the hill. And now the blade of night gleams through the briars. We gather twigs for the fires. New moon, old light. Or chadash ma'or kadmon, tinaseh nafshi alecha, bishmei chodesh elul. New moon, ancient light, may my spirit rise to you in Elul's sky. Page 24, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Let's turn back to page 20, L'Chadodi. We're singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we reach verse 9, it's a tradition to rise and face the entrance as we welcome the Shabbat. Verse 5. Chatzi Kaddish is on page 26. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'amad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael bagala uvizman kariv v'imeru Amen. Yesh merabah mevarach le'olam amei almaya Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha brichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'imeru. Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed is his moment now and every now to come. Blessed is the blessed one. Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed is his moment now and every now to come. Come all of you. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Let's pray on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hamari Baravim. 32. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim Amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Devot Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Let's pray on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Page 42.
Hoshkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, V'hamidenu shovenu l'chaim v'chaim. Ufos aleinu sukat shlomecha, V'ta'minu v'hitzah tova milpanecha, Ve'oshienu l'man shmecha.
Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence our acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporech sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44. B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asod et HaShabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם.
כששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים
ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי
שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית. Let's turn to page 155. We come to the Amidah, where we'll begin together and continue privately the words of our ancestors, the contemporary or the contemporary prayers, the prayers of our hearts, until page 167. You'll notice on page 161 there are additional prayers for tonight for Rosh Chodesh. When you are completed with your prayers, you may be seated. Let us rise in any way you can.
Letahon, Ani Elohim, Ruach Nahon, Kadesh V'Kirvi, Al Tashlicheni Lefanecha, Ruach Hodecha, Al Tikach Mineni. say shalom, Aleinu Yisrael. Imehu Amen. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom, everyone. Imehu. Amen.
Let's pray for our loved ones who are in need of healing, refuat nefesh, refuat guf, a healing of spirit, a healing of body. This week we are praying for Peter Adamson, Larry Benson, Margot Blaustein, Lisa Bush, Peter Demmer, Claudia DeJesu, Nicholas DeJesu, Richard Feibel, Bruce Goldman, Harriet Goldstein, Lena Hammer, Paige Holt, Oliver Horn, John Houston, Sheila Carner, Gay Clapman, Leon Kurland, Sherry Levis, Deborah Littman, Joseph Lupkin, Lori Mazzarella, Reese Osmond, Judy Ragona, Eileen Reinfleisch, Gail Rush, Buddy Scott, Bernice Side, Alan Silverstein, Gilbert Simon, Glenn Swatinsky, Marjorie Van Dow, Allison Rosen Vogel, Lisa Wolper, Edie Weinstein, and Izzy Yagoda. If you're online and you'd like to add names to the chat, please do so. And if you're here and would like to say a name, please do so. And online, we have Freddie Gutman, A.G. Reed Sr., Pat Moon, Martha Raskin, and Steve Raskin. Our Torah portion this week, Re'eh, is this word Re'eh, which means look. And it's kind of like, when you say to someone, look, what does it mean? Pay attention. Usually in Sefer Devarim it says Shema, listen up. This week it says Re'eh, look. Pay attention. So we are coming into a month, Elul, as I mentioned, where we're meant to look, but look back. Look back on the year that is coming to an end, but not the events of the year. I mean, we can do that, but the high holy days are the most personal time of the Jewish calendar. Look back at your life. Look inward at your heart. Elul, as I've taught before, our sages say is an acronym for Ani L'Dodi, the Dodi Li. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine, from Shir HaShirim, from the Song of Songs. We need to look inward so that we can be open for love. Open this month, open ourselves this month for next month, for Tishrei, the month of the High Holy Days for the new year. There's different traditions of Elul. I'll end with one of them, which is the reciting of Psalm 27 every day of Elul. Actually, there's a tradition to do it all the way through Sukkot, all the way to Shmini Atzeret, the last festival at the end. But one of these traditions is every morning, but not on Shabbat, every morning to hear the sound of the shofar, which is a piercing sound that tells us to look back, look inward. Another tradition, when you hear the sound of the shofar, it's telling you to look inward, which we say in Hebrew is cheshbon hanefesh, which is like an accounting of our soul. We go over and over our lives in the last year to get ready to try to make ourselves just a little bit better for the coming year. I don't know if people can totally transform. Maybe over a lifetime, there's a huge transformation of who you used to be and who you are now, but every year we try to get a little bit better. We don't need to put so much pressure on ourselves at the High Holy Days, because then we're going to fail. A little bit more compassionate, a little bit more patient, a little bit more loving, a little bit more, you fill in the blank. The month of Elul helps us look in so that we know what we should be working on every day coming to the month of Tishrei. Some stories to get us ready. In the month of Elul, when people prepare their souls for the days of judgment, Rabbi Chaim was in the habit of telling stories to a tune that moved all his listeners to turn to God. He once told this story. A man lost his way in the great forest. After a while, another lost his way and chanced on the first. Without knowing what had happened to him, he asked the way out of the woods. "I don't know," said the first, "but I could point out the ways that lead further into the thicket. And after that, let us try to find the way together." So, my congregation, the rabbi concluded his story. Let us look for the way together. So, as I said, the High Holy Days are the most personal time, the time of Cheshbon HaNefesh, of personally looking inward, but we do it together. I wish every Shabbat here was as full as we are on the High Holy Days, but there's something luring the Jews back to the temple because we know we need to be together at the Holy Days, whether we're here in the room or together online. Another story. How the rabbi of Sasov learned how to love. Anila dodi v'dodi li, my beloved is mine, and I am my beloved's. Rabbi Moshe Leib told this story. How to love people is something I learned from a peasant. He was sitting in an inn along with other peasants drinking. For a long time, he was as silent as all the rest. But when he was moved by the wine, he asked one of the men seated beside him, what did the old Budweiser commercials, remember? I love you, man. This is a Hasidic version of that. He asked one of the men seated beside him, tell me, do you love me or don't you love me? The other replied, I love you very much. But the first peasant replied, you say that you love me, but you don't know what I need. If you really loved me, you would know. The other had not a word to say to this, and the peasant who had put the question fell silent again. So the rabbi says, but I understood. To know the needs of another and to bear the burden of their sorrow, that is true love. So the cheshbon hanefesh that we do at this season, the trying to get a little bit better, is not so that we can be better at business. It's not so we can make friends and influence people. It's not so you can fill in the blank for success today. It's so that we can bear the burden of another. One more tradition of Elul, as I said, is Psalm 27. I'd like to read a newish translation from the late Rabbi Richard Levy. LeDavid Adonai ori v'yish'i mimi ira, Adonai ma'oz chayai mimi echad. Adonai is my light and my victory, from whom should I feel fright? Adonai is the stronghold of my life, from whom should I feel terror? When evildoers approach me in battle to feed on my flesh, my pursuers, my adversaries, they have stumbled, they have fallen down. If a camp encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If a war arises against me, in this I would trust. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh, shivti bevet Adonai kol yemei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, uvaker behechalo. One thing have I sought from the Eternal One, how I long for it, that I may live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, that I may look upon the sweetness of Adonai and spend time in the palace, that you might hide me in your sukkah, in your shelter on a chaotic day. Hide me in the hiding places of your tent. Raise me high on a rock. Now my head rises above my enemies round about, and in your tent I offer offerings to the sound of truah, the first sound of the shofar. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice, I am crying out, be gracious to me, answer me. My heart has said to you, seek my face. I am seeking your face, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, God of my deliverance. For my father and my mother have abandoned me, yet Adonai gathers me up. Make your path apparent to me. Guide me in the upright road because of those up ahead who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the lust of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, puffing violently. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life. Wait for Adonai. Fill your waiting with hope in Adonai. Let your heart be strong and of good courage, and wait hopefully for Adonai. So a line that a lot of people sing, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. One thing have I sought from Adonai, how I long for it, that I may live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life. I'm going to try to teach you a classic tune. So it's in the Siddur. You turn to page 358. Goes like this. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Second part. Shivti b'vet Adonai kol yemei chayai. Let's try that. Shivti b'vet Adonai kol yemei chayai. Third part. Lachazot b'noam Adonai ulavaker behechalo. Lachazot b'noam Adonai ulavaker behechalo. Let's try it again. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Shivti b'vet Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachazot b'noam Adonai ulavaker behechalo. Lachazot b'noam Adonai ulavaker behechalo. May you have a Shabbat Shalom. May you have a meaningful month of Elul. So let us begin to conclude. We turn to page 282 in our Siddur. At the bottom of the page, please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, lateit gdula yotzei b'reishit, shelo asanu k'goi haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, Mishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Let's pray on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, loved, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. If you're here to say Kaddish for a loved one, if you're able, please rise when I say their names so that we as a community can support you and give honor to the memory of your loved one. This month is the first
30 days of mourning for Michael Israel and Martin Friedman. And this week marks the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of Jack Alter, Gerald Aresti, Josephine Aresti, Garth Blyer, Sylvania Alves da Costa, Edward Epstein, Abraham Flagelman, Sophie Glassner, Edward Goldman, Ruth Goldman, Joseph Grendofer, Sylvia Landau, Sadie A. Lass, Fanny Lippman, Marion Moffett, Michael Narer, Fred Pallas, Isaac Pardo, Stuart Pochapin, Stan Pomerantz, Doris Rosenberg, Rosetta Rossoff, Thomas E. Sample, Philip Schnee, Sylvia Schnee, Maureen Schwartz, Rosalind Van Wimolke, Julia Ward, Sydney Weisbach, and Celia Jungelson. If you're remembering someone online, you can put names in the chat. If you have names to add, please do so as I go around. Zichanam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. The mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal shemei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushpachata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, to all of the world, to which we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Before we say Kiddush, please join us for our oneg in probably the courtyard. In the courtyard. Please join us. It's a salad bar tonight, I heard. But also, as we enter into Elul, now there's a lot of things happening this month at Temple B'nai Or, so please look on the website and in highlights, and I think there's going to be an Elul booklet of classes, of things to get ready for the high holy days, including Slichot, the Saturday night before Rosh Hashanah. It'll be not the night before Rosh Hashanah, which is also Saturday night, so the week before, which will be here this year with the Morristown Jewish Center. So Kiddush is on page 5, but I didn't tell him this beforehand, but I see Ryan Berman here, who has recently been in Israel. So he's going to help me with Kiddush. So will Addie, because she had a bat mitzvah recently, and she could probably sing better than he can. But then, how about all the kids who are here? So, Ami, come on up. Here, I got it here for you. Page 5. You ready? Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri haga. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzavanu v'shabbat kodsho mi'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidasha mikol ha'amim v'shamba kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hincham.
Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Stay. Hey, you want to do Motzi?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thank you to Amy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.